Sophia Taylor and I were both reborn. In a last life, Sophia poisoned me on our wedding night. Ethan, don't blame me. If anyone's to blame, blame yourself. You insisted on marrying me. It was you who proposed that day and let him see. He was distraught and took his own life. He died for me. I must avenge him. Go downstairs and apologize to him. Just because her persistent ex-husband, Jacob Smith, committed suicide, she takes it out on me. I pour my heart out for her, worked hard to earn money and support the family. I prepared the wedding, and this is what I get in return. A cup of poison? Reborn. This life I'm living for myself. And she would have to pay the price. I shot my eyes open, my throat burning as if it had been set on fire. Dry and aching, with a sharp twisting pain still lingering in my stomach. Am I dead? No, this feeling, it's too real. I found myself lying on a familiar sofa, with a somewhat recognizable chandelier on the ceiling above me. I sat up abruptly and looked around. Isn't this the apartment I rented before my wedding? There were still a few double happiness characters in the living room that hadn't been fully removed. There were a few unopened wedding cigarettes tossed on the table. I quickly pulled out my phone and glanced at the date. August 12th? That's impossible. This is clearly the night before Sophia Taylor and I get married. I pinched my thigh hard. Ow, this really hurts. Not a dream. Did I fucking get reincarnated? At that moment, the final memories rushed into my mind like a tidal wave, making my temples throb. At the wedding toast, Sophia was wearing that pure white wedding dress. She smiled and handed me a glass of wine. At the time, I foolishly thought I was the happiest person in the world and downed it without a second thought. But when I returned to the bridal chamber, I felt something was wrong with my stomach. It started burning fiercely, followed by a wave of gut-wrenching pain. I couldn't even stand and fell flat to the ground. I lay on the ground and saw Sophia crouching beside me. Her face was cold as ice, with none of the smile from a moment ago. She looked at my pained expression, her eyes full of hatred, and through gritted teeth said to me, "Ethan, don't blame me. If anyone's to blame, blame yourself. You insisted on marrying me. It was your proposal that day that he saw. He couldn't bear it for a moment and took his own life. He died for me. I must avenge him. Go downstairs and apologize to him. It was her. It was Sophia who poisoned that drink. Just because her clingy ex-husband, Jacob Smith, committed suicide, she's putting that blame on me. I poured my heart and soul into being good to her and earned money to support the family. I was preparing the wedding, and this is the reward. This cup of poison wine? This woman has gone mad. A great fury and suffocating grievance made my whole body tremble, and my breathing grew heavy. I forced down the voice that was about to burst out. I couldn't alarm the people in the bedroom. Yes, the bedroom. Sophia is sleeping in the bedroom right now. Tomorrow is the day we were originally supposed to get married. I sprang up from the sofa and walked to the bedroom door in a few strides. My hand on the doorknob. The cold sensation calmed me a little. I gently cracked the door open a bit, using the light coming in from outside. I could see there was indeed someone lying on the bed, covered with a quilt, breathing steadily, as if asleep. I gently closed the door, leaning my back against the cold wall. I'm Ethan Johnson. I'm alive again. I cannot die a second time. Absolutely not. In my past life, I was really blind, orbiting her like a bootlicker. I clearly knew she could never let go of that rotten, gambling ex-husband in her heart. Yet I kept thinking I could win her over with sincerity. And the result? What a load of sentimental bullshit. I put my whole life on the line for nothing. I'm fucking the biggest idiot in the world. Spending money on her, worrying about her. In the end, she, for the sake of a scumbag ex-husband who brought his own doom, didn't hesitate to try to poison me. This woman has no heart at all. Her heart only belongs to that Jacob. Forget it. Why keep thinking about this? It's all in the past. No, it hasn't happened yet, but it absolutely will never happen again. This time, I'm damn well living for myself. Sophia, haven't you been unable to forget your Jacob? Don't you think I'm the one who broke you two up? Fine, I'll let you have it. I won't marry her. This game, I won't take it. Whoever wants it can take it. But it can't just end so easily. I almost died by her hand. I can't let that go. I must give them a grand gift. A wedding present that will be unforgettable for the rest of their lives. I walked to the living room window, stared into the pitch-black night outside, and began to calculate rapidly in my mind. Jacob must be present at tomorrow's wedding. In my previous life, he died because of Sophia. I only need to tell him that Sophia actually prepared his wedding. Would he show up then? Those names at the wedding. Groom, Ethan Johnson. Just looking at it makes me sick. It has to be changed. There probably isn't enough time to replace all the invitations. But the signboard at the hotel entrance, the welcome board at the banquet hall entrance, and that largest projection screen. I could figure something out for all of those. Change every name to Jacob Smith and Sophia Taylor. As for my parents, absolutely cannot let them attend in person. I can't let them keep embarrassing themselves and living in fear because of me. I'll call them first thing tomorrow morning and tell them the wedding is off. I'll explain the details later. For now, whatever it takes, stop them from going to the hotel. And me? I definitely can't show up at the wedding. Once the real show starts, I have to slip away immediately. Get as far away from this place as possible and let this pair of lovers wreck themselves. Yes, that's what I'll do. Thinking this, I felt the long-held knot in my chest finally ease a little. I sat back down on the sofa, took out my phone, and began searching for Jacob Smith's number. I sent him a message directly. Sophia wants to marry you at the wedding tomorrow. Please be sure to come. After sending the message, I blocked Jacob Smith's number. I put down the phone, feeling a little sweat in the palm of my hand. Next up was figuring out how to deal with the names on the scene. This is a bit tricky. I need to think it through carefully. And my parents' phone call. I have to make it first thing in the morning. I lean back on the sofa, not a bit sleepy. The pain when the poison took hold in Sophia's face, full of hatred, flashed through my mind again and again. Each flash erased the last of the hesitation and pity in my heart. Sophia, Jacob, just wait. Tomorrow's wedding will definitely be a grand spectacle. This time, I, Ethan Johnson, only want to watch the show and absolutely will not get involved. I dug out the wedding itinerary again, found the wedding planner's phone number, and called manager William Brown. I dialed it directly. The call took a long time to connect. The noise on their end suggested they were still setting up the venue. Hello, Mr. Ethan? What's the matter so late? Don't worry about the event setup. It's absolutely no problem. Manager William Brown had a loud voice. I tried to make my voice sound normal, even a little urgent. Manager William, sorry to bother you so late. There's an urgent matter. Tomorrow, please cover or remove any places at the venue where my name and my wife's name appear. Huh? Remove? Mr. Ethan, what's going on? The invitations have already been sent out. Manager William Brown's voice went blank. The elders at home are very superstitious. They just had a master cast a divination. He said the name must not be revealed in advance. Revealing it would be unlucky and bad for both parents. The master said it very seriously. The elders absolutely refused. So there's no choice. We have to trouble you. I made up one story after another, speaking with a very sincere tone. Money's not the issue. I'll pay every penny of the extra fees, double if needed. Please, you must help. Manager William Brown hesitated over there for a moment, perhaps tempted by the mention of extra pay. Mr. Ethan, this last-minute change, especially those large roll-up banners at the entrance and the lettering on the stage backdrop. They're all printed. Once removed, it'll be bare. No need to remove everything. I said immediately. Cover the roll-up banners and the backdrop with red cloth or those big double happiness stickers for now. The main concerns are the guide sign at the hotel entrance and the event flow stand placed beside the registration table at the banquet hall. Those two are paper, right? Can they be replaced? The table name cards and the program stand? Those are done at the print shop. They're cardboard. But we don't have any new ones on hand right now either. Manager William Brown said, a bit troubled. You don't need to worry about that. I'll handle it, I said quickly. You just need to give the people on your side a heads up. Someone will bring a new one first thing tomorrow to replace it. Have your people cooperate and don't interfere. Let the person take the old sign that's replaced and dispose of it. Send someone? Mr. Ethan, you? Manager William Brown sounded even more perplexed. Yes, I had a friend help arrange something different. Just pretend you don't know. Cooperate a bit. It's all to comfort the elder. There will definitely be a token of thanks later. Manager William, please help. I emphasized the money again. All right, Mr. Ethan, you really are. I'll tell Kevin, the night shift attendant, now. Tomorrow morning someone will come to replace the water sign and the process placard. We won't interfere. Cover up the other spots first. Manager William Brown finally relented. Great. Thanks. I'll buy you a drink later. I quickly set out of politeness and hung up. With the wedding arrangements taken care of, I immediately opened an app and ordered a same-city courier. Place the order and choose immediate pickup. Soon a rider accepted the order, and a call came through immediately. Hello. Sir, what are we picking up? Where should it be delivered? Brother, this order is a bit special. I said into the phone. No physical pickup. I'll send you 2 image files. Find a nearest 24-hour print shop that does graphics and text, and print them on sturdier paper and color. Make a standing sign about a meter tall, the kind used as a directional sign at a hotel entrance. Also make a smaller one, like a tabletop sign. Print them out and deliver them to the Grand Hotel wedding venue before 9 a.m. tomorrow. Find a site manager named Kevin and tell him Mr. Ethan sent you to swap the program boards. Take down the old ones on site, take them away, and just throw them out. Can you do it? The errand boy was stunned for a moment. Huh? Bro, just print these 2 things, then deliver them and swap them out? Yes, that's it. I'll give you an extra 200 yuan as a service fee, and I'll cover the platform fee. I'll transfer 100 as a deposit to you online right now, and once it's done, I'll immediately transfer the other 100. Do it or not? I said, throwing money down. Do it. No problem, bro. Send me the picture. I'll go to the print shop right now. I guarantee I'll get it done perfectly for you. The guy agreed instantly when I offered more money. Okay, keep your mouth shut. Don't ask too many questions. Just get it done. I hung up and sent him the 2 design images that had long been saved on my phone. The images were templates I had casually saved when I was looking over wedding proposals before. I only changed the names to groom, Jacob Smith, bride, Sophia Taylor. The date and hotel name remained the same. Finished with the physical items. Next is the electronic display. There was a large projection screen of the wedding venue that would loop a slideshow of Sophia and me in our wedding attire. It was filled with our names and photos. This was a bit troublesome. I tried calling manager William Brown again. Manager William, one more thing. The slideshow video and PPT of the wedding photos, the director said they can't be played early. Before the ceremony starts, just keep the screen dark or show some landscape images. Mr. Ethan, the playback is controlled by the computer, and we have staff in charge of it over there. It doesn't look very good to have the screen dark the whole time before the ceremony. Manager William Brown's voice faltered a little. All right, how about this? I took a step back. Send me the original PPT source file I gave you earlier to my email now. I'll have the master cleanse it, and early tomorrow, my friend will bring a USB drive over. Use our cleansed version to overwrite the original. Okay? That way we won't have to worry. Manager William Brown was silent for a few seconds over there, probably dumbfounded by my superstitious approach, but he couldn't afford to offend a client. Fine. I'll have my colleague send it to your email right away. Tell your friend to go straight to Kevin, who manages the computers tomorrow, and have the file replaced. Great. Thank you. I hung up, sneering inwardly. What purification nonsense. I'll replace it for good. Soon, the inbox received a PPT file. I opened my computer and downloaded it immediately. Then I started deleting. I erased all the photos of Sophia and me together and all solo photos of me. I left only a few solo photos of Sophia and a few landscape background images. Then everywhere the groom's name should appear, I changed it all to Jacob Smith. Finally, I added a few oversized slides with stylized lettering. They read groom, Jacob Smith, bride, Sophia Taylor, together forever. When I finished, I saved this radically altered PPT onto a new USB drive. Done. Check the time. It's almost 4 in the morning. I have to hurry. The last and most crucial step, my parents. I absolutely cannot let them go to the venue. I took a deep breath and called my mom. I was planning to fight tomorrow, but I was afraid my parents would leave early. It rang for a long time before she picked up. Her voice was sleepy. Ethan, what's wrong? This late at night. Mom, I interrupted her, my voice deliberately made heavy but resolute. Listen, the wedding tomorrow is canceled. None of you should go to the hotel. What? My mom's voice shot up, instantly wide awake. Canceled? What's going on? Ethan, explain yourself. Did you and Sophia have a fight? The invitations have already been sent out. The banquet has been booked. How can you just cancel like that? Mom, please don't ask so many questions. It's not a fight. Something happened. It's serious. It can't be explained quickly. I paused, stress in my tone. But you must trust me this time. Absolutely do not go to the hotel. If you go, the scene will be ugly, and it will be bad for both families. I'm begging you, Mom. Please listen to me this time. My dad's voice seemed to join in, and it grew noisy on the other end of the line. What's going on? Ethan, what are you up to? What's serious matter? Is it something with the Taylor family? Dad, I raised my voice. This isn't about the Taylors. It's my decision. I'll explain the specific reasons in detail when I finish here and get home. But for now, you must promise me you'll stay at home tomorrow. Don't go anywhere and don't answer anyone's calls, especially the call from the Taylor's side. Ignore it completely. Wait for my word. On the other end of the line, my parents were clearly totally stunned, both anxious and angry, firing off a barrage of questions. But I refused to give in, repeatedly insisting. Cancel it. Don't go. Trust me. Wait until I get back to explain. I hesitated for nearly 10 minutes before my mom finally gave in, her voice choking with tears. Ethan, what's wrong with you? Don't scare Mom like that. Fine, we won't go. We'll just wait at home. You mustn't do anything foolish. Don't worry, Mom. I didn't do anything stupid. I'm very clear-headed. I comforted her for a few words. Wait until I get home. After hanging up, I let out a long breath. My back was a bit sweaty. Everything I could think of had been arranged. The rest depends on tomorrow. I picked up the USB drive that held the revamped PPT and slipped it into my pocket. I had already transferred half of the delivery guy's fee to him online as a deposit. Dawn was approaching. I walked to the window and looked at the sky beginning to pale outside. My mind was unusually calm, even a little impatient. Sophia, Jacob, I've set the stage for you. This play, make sure you perform it well. It was still early dawn when I left the house. I only took my phone, wallet, and that USB drive with me. I tossed the rented groom's suit on the sofa. Just looking at it felt unlucky. I went to the bank first and withdrew some cash to have on hand. Then I found a street stall and leisurely ate a bowl of soy milk and youtiao. Watching the people and cars gradually increase on the street, I felt very calm inside. When it was about time, I hailed a cab and headed straight for the hotel. I didn't go to the main entrance. I went around to the service entrance. Sure enough, the wedding company's manager, William Brown, was there anxiously on the phone, sweat beading on his forehead. Seeing me come over, he quickly hung up and hurried closer. Mr. Ethan, you're finally here. What on earth is going on? He whispered, looking utterly distraught. Miss Sophia has been trying to reach you since early this morning. Her calls even came through to me. Also, the person your friend sent to change the sign. They were spotted by the hotel security just after finishing, and it almost turned into a fight. Luckily, I stopped it like you told me to. Is the wedding still going ahead? I patted his shoulder, speaking casually. Of course it's going ahead. Why wouldn't it be? Aren't all the brides already here? Proceed as planned. Manager William Brown's eyes widened. But the groom isn't here. Who said he isn't? I smiled. The groom might be arriving any moment. Take me to the control room to have a look. Manager William Brown looked completely bewildered, but still guided me inside. The control room was a small room behind the banquet hall. A young man wearing glasses was manning the computer and soundboard. Probably that Kevin. You're Kevin, right? I walked over and pulled out a USB drive. Manager William should have told you, right? The PPT needs to be changed. Use this one. Kevin pushed up his glasses and hesitated as he glanced at Manager William Brown. Manager William Brown wore a sour expression and nodded at him. Kevin took the USB drive and plugged it into the computer. All right, make a backup of the original, right? No need to back up, just overwrite. I said decisively. Kevin paused for a moment, said nothing, and made a few operations. Done. It's been replaced. Now it's looping the scenic images. Play this before the ceremony starts. Wait for my signal. When I tell you to cut, you cut back to the PPT. I added. Your signal. Kevin looked even more puzzled. Yes, my signal. I didn't explain further and took out my phone. What's your number? I'll call and save it. Wait for my call. If it rings once and then hangs up, that's the signal. You cut the PPT immediately. Kevin blankly gave the number. I dialed it, and his phone rang once. I hung up. Remember, one ring and then cut. After arranging things here, I said to manager William Brown, I'll go check things out up front. You do your thing. I slipped from the backstage into the side of the banquet hall. Many guests had already arrived, exchanging pleasantries and waiting for the event to begin. But I noticed that a lot of them wore odd expressions, huddled in small groups, whispering to one another. I just saw someone changing the sign over there. I don't know if my eyes are playing tricks on me. What did the sign at the entrance say about Jacob Smith and the bride's name? Was it written wrong? I saw it too. Where? Wasn't it covered up with something? Where's the groom? Can't see him. The bride just arrived. Her eyes are red. Looks like she's been crying. I listened to the gossip and snorted inwardly. The real show hasn't even started. I found a seat in a corner, able to see the whole room without drawing attention. It wasn't long before Sophia's mother hurried over to manager William Brown, speaking sharply. Manager William, did you get in touch with Ethan like I asked? Where is Ethan? Is this wedding going to take place or not? Manager William Brown stammered, sweating profusely as he explained. Auntie, please don't worry. Maybe Mr. Ethan, he said something came up. He'll be here any moment. Ein Moment. The guests have already arrived. What kind of excuse is that? Sophia's mother fumed. After a little while, I noticed a small commotion at the entrance of the banquet hall. The protagonist has arrived. Jacob Smith was wearing a suit that didn't fit well, his hair not properly groomed. He walked in looking around, his face betraying uncontrollable excitement. The moment he walked in, the faces of the Taylor relatives who knew him changed instantly. That's Jacob Smith, isn't it? Why is he here? Sophia's ex. Does he even have the nerve to come? Who invited him? It was almost 11 o'clock, the time the ceremony should begin. The MC nervously approached manager William Brown. Manager William, the auspicious hour has arrived, and the groom still hasn't shown up. What are we supposed to do? Manager William Brown was on the verge of tears. I don't know either. Just then my phone rang. It was Sophia. I hung up immediately. She called again. I hung up once more. After hanging up 3 or 4 times in a row, she sent a text message, her tone sharp. Ethan, where the hell have you gone? What exactly do you want? I didn't answer. I texted my parents instead. Whatever happens, don't come. Then I turned my phone off and put it on silent. The atmosphere grew more awkward, and the guests' whispers grew louder. Sophia's father's face went ashen. Her mother was stamping her feet in panic. Finally, Sophia couldn't hold back. She was wearing a wedding dress and rushed out of the bridal lounge. Her makeup streaked. She shouted at her parents and manager William Brown, her voice breaking with sobs. Ethan isn't coming? Is he messing with me? Manager William Brown kept his head down and didn't dare speak. Just then, I saw the scene that had been awaited for a long time. Jacob Smith was being scolded, a finger pointed at his nose, by someone who might be a distant relative of the Taylor family. Get out. You're not welcome here. Jacob Smith also grew anxious, stood up and shouted, Why can't I be here? Today is Sophia and my wedding. Right now. I immediately took out another spare phone and called Kevin in the control room. It rang once, then was immediately hung up. Almost simultaneously, the large screen at the front of the banquet hall that had been displaying landscape images suddenly flickered. The next second, a giant stylized title slide popped up. Groom, Jacob Smith, bride, Sophia Taylor, together forever. Immediately after, a solo wedding photo of Sophia appeared, accompanied by large text, dedicated to my beloved Jacob. The music was still playing the romantic wedding march, but the entire banquet hall fell into a deathly silence. Everyone was stunned, mouths agape as they looked at the screen, then at Sophia, then at Jacob Smith, who looked completely baffled. What is going on? The groom is Jacob Smith? What the hell is going on? They must have messed up the wedding arrangements. This is a huge blunder. Sophia suddenly looked up at the screen, struck as if by lightning, frozen in place, her face deathly pale. Jacob Smith smiled smugly, as if showing off. But Sophia's mother screamed, Turn it off. Turn it off. It's a mistake. Manager William Brown and Kevin fumbled in the control room, but the computer seemed frozen and the PPT wouldn't close. It kept looping through the pages displaying the names Jacob Smith and Sophia Taylor and those few limited photos. In the chaos, Sophia suddenly seemed to understand something. She snapped her head around, her eyes frantically searching for something. Her gaze swept across the corner where I sat, paused for a moment, but she didn't seem to recognize me sitting deliberately with my head lowered in the shadows. Then she did something that made everyone's jaws drop once again. She suddenly lunged at the still-stunned Jacob Smith and grabbed his arm. She screamed it out to the whole hall with almost all her strength, her voice trembling. Yes, that's right. It's him, Jacob Smith. He's the one I'm meant to marry. I'm marrying him today. The room erupted. Jacob Smith was yanked and stumbled, but tears of excitement were still in his eyes as he stammered. Sophia. Sophia? What did you say? Sophia didn't care about him at all. She just clung to him tightly, as if grasping the last straw for salvation. She repeated before her dumbfounded parents and all the guests. I love Jacob Smith. I always have loved Jacob Smith. My relationship with Ethan is over. Today's wedding, my groom is Jacob Smith. The moment she said that, the entire banquet hall totally exploded. Gasps, murmurs, and curses mixed together. Sophia's father trembled with anger, pointing at her. You, what nonsense are you talking? Are you mad? Her mother immediately cried out. What a sin. Sophia, have you lost your mind? I watched this farce, which I had directed with my own hands and which had completely spiraled out of control without the slightest ripple in my heart. The objective has been achieved. I stood up, pulled my hat brim down, and along the base of the wall, silently walked toward the service corridor exit. As I passed the control room door, I heard Manager William Brown on the phone, his voice choked with tears. Boss, it's over. Everything's a mess. They switched brides on the spot. Can we still collect the payment? I didn't stay. I quickly walked out of the corridor and went to the hotel's back alley. Fresh air flowed in, as if it belonged to a different world from the smoky, chaotic atmosphere in the banquet hall. I took out my phone, turned it on, and ignored the countless missed calls and barrage of text messages. I messaged the errand runner I'd arranged that morning. Shall I transfer the remaining payment now? He replied instantly. Okay, bro. I immediately transferred the remaining 100 yuan. Thanks, bro. Next time you've got a job like this, call me. The guy collected the payment quickly. There won't be a next time. I put away my phone and flagged down a taxi that happened to pass by. Driver, the train station. The taxi sped along, the street scenes outside whooshing past. I leaned back in the seat, feeling the nerves that had been wound tight all morning slowly loosen. It's done. The show is finally over. Now, it's time to clean up completely and leave. The phone started buzzing nonstop the moment I turned it on, humming like a little electric motor. I swiped to check it. Good heavens, 99 plus missed calls, and my messenger was blown up with texts. Most of them were from Sophia and her relatives. A few were from Manager William Brown, and some unknown numbers from who knows where. I can't be bothered to read the content. I can tell what kind of stuff it is with my toes. Those cursing me, begging me, asking where I am, probably all of them. I took the card out and tossed it to one side. Then I swiped the screen a few times, went straight to settings, and tapped Restore to factory settings. Confirmed, clear all data and settings. The phone screen went dark for a moment, then lit up with the logo and began rebooting itself. All right, the world is peaceful now. I took out the new phone and a new SIM card I had prepared last night from my pocket. Unpack the packaging, insert the SIM, power it on. A new phone is just so neat. Nothing on it. Driver, stop at the bank up ahead. I told the driver. The car stopped at the bank entrance. I went straight to the ATM, insert the card, enter the PIN, check the balance. Seeing that string of numbers, I felt a bit more at ease. Luckily, most of the money I'd saved before was in this card I'd secretly opened for myself, not mixed in with Sophia's accounts. I took 5,000 in cash and stuffed it in my pocket, just in case. We got back in the car. Driver, continue, train station. The car started up again. Holding my new phone, I called my parents first. I had to calm them before the Taylors' calls overwhelmed them and they broke down. The phone rang for a long time before it was answered. It was my mother's voice, trembling with sobs and anxiety. Hello? Who is this? Ethan? Is that you, Ethan? Whose phone are you using? Where are you exactly? At the hotel. Over there. She could hardly get the words out. Mom, it's me. I'm fine. I'm doing well. I try to make my voice sound calm. I used a new number. Don't worry about what happened at the hotel, and don't ask. Just tell me, are you all at home? You didn't go to the hotel, right? No, we didn't go. Dad was so angry he almost went, but I stopped him no matter what. Ethan, what on earth is going on here? The phones at the Taylors are about to explode. They're saying you ruined the wedding. That Sophia said on the spot she wanted to marry that Jacob Smith? Is it true? You're going to make Mom die of worry. My mother sobbed as she spoke. Mom, listen, I interrupted her. Sophia was right. She chose her ex-husband Jacob Smith. This marriage can't happen, and I certainly won't marry her. I'll explain the details to you later. I can't make it clear over the phone now. My father's voice jumped in sharply, shouting loudly. Can't explain. What's there that can't be explained? Ethan, I'm telling you, don't you try to play me for a fool. You've shamed me all the way to my grandmother's house. How am I supposed to face people with you and your mom from now on? Dad, my voice grew cold. The ones who should be ashamed are the Taylors. It's Sophia. She was the one who, in front of all our relatives and friends, rejected me and chose that gambling ex-husband. They're the ones who should be too embarrassed to show their faces, not us. What you need to do now is block all the phone numbers of everyone in the Taylor family. Don't open the door for anyone who comes. Don't say anything to anyone who asks. Just pretend you don't know anything. My mother was still sobbing. Ethan, when will you come back? Where are you now? I'm not going back for the time being. I need to go away for a few days to lie low and keep a low profile. Don't worry, I have enough money and safety won't be an issue. Once they've mostly cleaned up this mess themselves, I'll go back. I paused, emphasizing my words. Remember what I said. Don't answer calls from a Taylor household. Don't open the door. Don't get involved. I'm begging you, all right? There was silence on the other end of the line for a few seconds. My dad sighed heavily. He sounded much older all of a sudden. All right, you brat. Growing wings. Do whatever you want. Come back early. Got it, Dad. I'm hanging up now. I'll keep this number for the time being. If anything comes up, I'll call you. I didn't wait for them to say anything more. I hung up the phone immediately. I couldn't let them keep asking. The car arrived at the train station. I paid the fare, got out, and walked into the ticket hall. There were quite a few people, noisy and clamorous. I didn't hesitate much and walked straight to the ticket window. The next train heading south, any major city will do, as long as there's a ticket. The ticket clerk tapped the keyboard a few times. 40 minutes from now, G1245 to Riverside City, there are still second-class seats available. This one ticket. I handed over my ID and cash. Got my ticket, went through security, and entered the waiting room. There was still some time before departure, so I found an empty corner to sit in. Looking at the ticket in my hand, Riverside City. Not bad. Far enough, with plenty of opportunities. I've been here a few times while doing business, so I'm fairly familiar with it. What to do next? First, I need to find a place to stay. I took out my new phone, connected to the train station Wi-Fi, and downloaded a few rental and hotel apps. I booked 2 nights at a cheap express hotel first, so I can settle in and then look for a place more slowly. What about work? This little bit of money won't last long. I need to quickly find some ways to make money. I remember in my last life around this time, Riverside City seemed to have a few small opportunities. Cross-border e-commerce, reposting short videos, right? I remember a high school classmate who later set up some kind of studio in Riverside City and was doing pretty well. I think he only started it in the last couple of years. I wonder if I can still get in touch with him now. My mind raced, thoughts popping up one after another. It's a hassle, sure, but compared to how pathetically I died in my last life, this little trouble is nothing. The announcement started. They began checking tickets for my train. I stood up, carrying my backpack that I had never actually opened. Inside were just a few old clothes haphazardly stuffed in and some toiletries, and I headed toward the ticket gate. The line was long, full of people dragging big and small bags, hurrying home or off to work. Nobody noticed me, and I didn't know a soul. This feeling was fucking great. Ticket check, get on the train, find a seat. It was a window seat. I threw my bag onto the luggage rack, sat down, and closed my eyes. The train slowly started moving, then faster and faster. I know that by now Sophia's world must have been turned upside down. Her parents' fury, relatives' accusations, and that bewildered Jacob Smith who was shoved into position enough to drown her. But none of that had anything to do with me anymore. I took out my new phone and saved Mom and Dad's numbers. Then I opened the rental app and started filtering houses over in Riverside City. The old Ethan Johnson had died in yesterday's poison cup. From now on, I'm going to live differently. The banquet hall was a mess, like a pot of burnt porridge. The music had long since stopped, leaving only the buzz of whispered talk and the occasional sharp gasp. Sophia clung to Jacob Smith's arm, so hard her nails were nearly digging into his flesh. Her tears had blurred her makeup into a smudge, but her eyes shone frighteningly bright, staring fixedly at her parents and the relatives around them who were dumbfounded. "Dad, Mom, can you hear me? I said I'm going to marry him. Jacob Smith. This is the person I should be marrying." Her voice was so shrill it cracked, carrying a kind of reckless madness. Sophia's mother was trembling with anger all over, rushing forward to try to pull her back. "Sophia, are you crazy? What nonsense are you talking? Come back with me at once. You're embarrassing us. Don't you have any idea why you two divorced before?" Her father's face was ashen, his lips trembling. He couldn't say a word, looking absolutely furious. "I'm not crazy." Sophia jerked her mother's hand away and clutched Jacob Smith even tighter, practically shouting, "I'm perfectly sane. In my past life, no. It was I who was confused before. It was my fault. I shouldn't have agreed to Ethan. My heart has always belonged to Jacob Smith alone. Jacob Smith has already changed for me too. He said before that he's quit gambling. Now that bastard Ethan has run off. Perfect. This is heaven giving me a chance to let me correct my mistake." Jacob Smith was pulled by her until he grimaced. He was still dazed, stammering quietly. Sophia, please believe me, I've really quit gambling. What I said before was all true. I won't let you down." He raised 4 fingers as if swearing. Sophia suddenly turned to him, her gaze frighteningly eager. "Jacob Smith, I believe you. You coming here today is our fate. It must be that heaven saw how hard we've suffered and specially arranged this. Ethan is really a good-for-nothing. He deserted at the crucial moment. He doesn't want me anymore. But I want you. I've always wanted you. We're going to get our marriage certificate right now. Today." An aunt nearby couldn't stand it any longer and frowned as she tried to persuade them. "Sophia, calm down. This is getting far too ugly. If you have something to say, go home and close the door to talk about it. There are so many guests watching. Let them watch." Sophia shot back immediately, her voice even louder. "I want everyone to see. I, Sophia Taylor, am marrying Jacob Smith today, not that cowardly turtle Ethan Johnson." As she spoke, her other hand actually reached out and tightened around Jacob Smith's arm. Her whole body pressed against him, as if declaring ownership. Jacob Smith was taken aback by her action, but he soon cleared his throat and straightened his back a little. "Yes, Sophia is right. We truly love each other. Before, there was a bit of a misunderstanding. Misunderstanding my ass." Sophia's father finally caught his breath, roaring and pointing at Jacob Smith's nose as he swore. "Get out of here, right now. Don't make a fool of yourself here. Sophia, you get home. I'm not going home." Sophia braced her neck and shouted even louder than her father. "Unless I go back with Jacob Smith. Dad, please let us be together. I promise, Jacob Smith has changed. He won't gamble anymore. We'll live a good life. Please." She began crying again, but her tone was unusually resolute. Jacob Smith heard this and hurriedly nodded like a pestle hitting mortar. Yes. Uncle, Aunt, don't worry. I've long since reformed. I have a proper job now, and I will treat Sophia well. I'll cherish her, love her, and won't let her suffer a single grievance." He spoke so convincingly that even he almost believed it. The guests around wore various expressions. Some were watching for amusement, some shook their heads and sighed, some whispered to one another. Has this Taylor family's daughter been through something so traumatic? Who knows why she divorced before? Now she's about to fall right back in. Tisk, passing up someone as good as Ethan and choosing this deadbeat instead. Who knows? Maybe they've been barely holding on for a while. This is going to be entertaining. The Taylor family must be mortified. Manager William Brown, accompanied by several staff members, forced himself forward to try to persuade them. Miss Sophia, Mr. Jacob Smith, look at this. This ceremony can't continue. How about everyone disperses for now? The venue and the time. Disperse what disperse? Sophia immediately cut him off, as if she'd seized upon some excuse. The guests have all arrived. The meal still has to be eaten. Manager William, hurry and have the dishes served. Just consider it. Consider it an early treat from Jacob Smith and me. Put it on a tab for now. After she said that, she glanced at her father with a guilty look. Her father snorted angrily and turned his head away. When Jacob Smith heard there was food and that he could get it for free, his eyes lit up and he quickly chimed in. Yes, yes, yes. Don't waste it. Everyone eat and drink well. Consider it on Sophia and me. He immediately slipped into character. Now, it was completely chaotic. Some guests felt awkward, shook their heads, and left. Some of the thick-skinned ones, or those who wanted to gawk, really stayed behind to wait for the banquet. Sophia's mother covered her face and cried, being forcibly pulled away by her father, probably out of sight, out of mind. Sophia watched her parents leave, her eyes reddening again. But she immediately hugged Jacob Smith's arm even tighter, as if he were her only support and trophy. She tilted her face up to look at the still-dazed Jacob Smith, her tone carrying a kind of near-hypnotic fervor and a self-congratulation. Jacob Smith, look, everyone opposed us, but we're together anyway. This is true love. We must be happy to show them. Make everyone who looks down on us regret it. Jacob Smith looked at her like that, although in his heart he felt this development was a bit too fantastical. But with beauty before him, and the chance to get a free big meal, and maybe even legitimately move into the Taylor household later, he nodded vigorously and, turning, pulled Sophia into his arms. Don't worry, Sophia. From now on, I'll definitely treat you well. 1,000, 10,000 times better than that, Ethan. The staff began hesitantly bringing out the dishes. Someone had quietly turned the music back on, and it was still that sickly wedding march. Sophia and Jacob Smith just stood there in the middle of the messy banquet hall, accepting the blessings of the few remaining guests with complicated looks. Tears on Sophia's face hadn't yet dried, but she forced a smile of utter happiness and said to Jacob Smith and to everyone present, "See, I told you, after all the twists and turns, the one standing by my side in the end is still you. Jacob Smith, we will never be apart again." The huge stone in her heart, the one pressed there all her life by Jacob Smith's suicide in his previous life, and that made her hate Ethan for a lifetime, seemed finally lifted. She felt she had done the most correct, most noble, most spectacular thing, making up for the regrets of her past life. She didn't think at all about why Ethan suddenly disappeared, nor about that strange signboard and the PPT. She didn't consider whether Jacob Smith was really dependable, and she certainly didn't think about the days to come. She only wanted to hold on to the man in front of her and prove that she was not wrong. Jacob Smith chuckled, holding her as he walked toward the head table, his eyes already darting to the hearty dishes on the tables. This absurd farce, under an extremely strange atmosphere, turned into a baffling wedding feast. The train had been running for several hours and finally arrived in Riverside City. I squeezed out of the station with the crowd. The sun outside was bright and dazzling. I first found a budget hotel near the station that looked decent, booked a standard room, and paid for 3 days up front. After entering the room and tossing my bag aside, the first thing I did was connect to the Wi-Fi. That rental app on my phone kept buzzing. Several agents had sent me messages. "Bro, saw your budget is around 2,000 and you're looking to rent a single room? I have several good listings on hand. You can view them anytime. Boss, how about the Riverside area? It's close to the subway and convenient for daily life. Hello, are you looking to rent urgently? I have a client who happens to need a short-term 1-month rental. The price is negotiable." I swiped the screen and picked the agent who replied the fastest. "A single room, 1-month deposit and 1-month rent. Can sign the contract and move in immediately. Any available?" Can book it today. The other party replied instantly. Yes. Brother, where are you? I'll drive over to pick you up and show you the place. Guarantee you'll be satisfied. No need to pick me up. Send the location. I'll go there myself. I don't have time to bicker. After looking at the 3 listings he sent, I picked an older residential complex not too far from Future Tech Park. I hailed a car and went straight there. The agent was a young guy, smooth talking, leading me up the stairs while bragging. Brother, look at this apartment. Although it's a bit old, it's clean. The previous tenant just moved out. The landlord specially cleaned it. And with this price and location, it's absolutely worth it. The apartment is on the top floor of an old 6-story building with no elevator. The single room wasn't big, just a bed, a wardrobe, a desk, and a small private bathroom. It was indeed old. The plaster was peeling in places, but it was relatively clean. This one then. How much? I didn't waste any more words. Quick decision, brother. Monthly rent is $1,800, 1 month deposit and 1 month upfront, utilities and gas paid by tenant, internet $50 a month. The agent hurriedly quoted the figures. $1,006. I'll rent for 3 months, cash. If it works, sign the contract and give me the keys now. If not, I'm leaving. I bartered. The agent pretended to be troubled and scratched his head. Bro, the landlord didn't give that price. All right, since you're so earnest about it, I'll apply to the landlord for you. He took his phone to the side and pretended to make a call. Then came back looking like he'd been stabbed in the heart. Bro, the landlord agreed. You're ruthless. Let's sign the contract. They signed a simple contract, paid cash, and took the keys. The agent left in high spirits. I gave the room a quick wipe and spread the old sheets I had brought. At least I had a temporary place to stay. Next was making money. I took out my laptop and connected it to my phone's hotspot. First, I checked my bank card balance. After the previous withdrawal, there was less than $20,000 left. I needed to hurry. I remembered there was a small local forum in Riverside City, and one section discussed digital currencies. Digital currencies had a pretty good future. There was an altcoin called Bit that almost no one paid attention to. Its price was pitifully low. I think it has a lot of potential. I found that forum, scrolled through for a long time, and sure enough found the discussion thread about that coin. There were only a handful of replies, all mocking it as a scam. Converted at the current price, it's about a little over $5,000 each. I registered an account, found the trading platform link, and spent some time completing real name verification and linking my bank card. Then, without hesitation, I used all 15,000 yuan in the card to buy this knockoff coin called Bit. I didn't spend all the money at once. I had to leave a little behind. My stomach was a bit hungry, so I went downstairs to find something to eat. There's a fast food shop at the entrance of the neighborhood. I ordered a serving of mixed noodles and added a steamed dumpling. I was eating when my phone rang, an unfamiliar local number. I answered hello. Hello, is this Ethan Johnson? It's me, Liam Strong. The person on the other end had a somewhat familiar, loud voice. Liam Strong? I paused for a moment before I remembered. He's a classmate of mine from high school. His hometown is around Riverside City. It seems he stayed and built his career here later on. Last life I heard he was doing pretty well, had set up some kind of studio of his own. Liam, what are you up to? I asked, a little surprised. Have you thought about what I told you? Liam Strong was still as loud and brash as ever. I called him while I was in the car. He asked me to help him, to work with him on short video operations and product promotion, live streaming, and the like. I thought about it quickly. I've had a bit of exposure to the short video industry before. It really is a hot trend. Although Liam Strong is a bit flashy, he's got strong execution. Working with him for a while to save some startup funds and build connections could work. All right, where's your studio? What do you mainly do? I asked. That's refreshing. Liam Strong laughed. At the Skyline building. When are you free to come take a look? We'll discuss salary in person, base pay plus commission. If you have the skills, earning over 10,000 a month is easy. Tomorrow. I'll come see you tomorrow morning. I set the time. Got it. I'll text you the address. See you tomorrow. I hung up the phone and went back to eating my tossed noodles. I figured I'd first work for Liam Strong and let the knockoff coin thing wait. After finishing, I returned to the rented room and opened my computer to look up some policies and small business registration procedures in Riverside City. In the evening, I casually ordered takeout, eating while scrolling through the news on my new phone. I deliberately avoided the social news section about my hometown. No need to burden myself. There was nothing noteworthy in the news. I sent my mom a text. Mom, I arrived. I'm settled. Everything's fine, don't worry. Remember not to interact with the Taylor family. My mom came back quickly. Got it. Take good care of yourself out there. If you run out of money, tell the family. Going to sleep. I put down my phone and lay down on the bed. The room was small, the ceiling old, but it felt more secure than ever. The mess from the past had finally been completely shaken off. A new life, even if it started from this tiny rented room and a risky altcoin bet, would be fine. At least, my life was still mine and the initiative was in my own hands. My days passed in a blur. The next day, I went to see Liam Strong. Liam Strong's studio was a small cubicle in an office building, filled with computers and equipment. Two young people who looked like recent graduates were there, furiously tapping away at keyboards. Sure, Liam, looking pretty professional. I glanced around the place. Small-time stuff, just to make a living. Liam Strong said with a smile as he handed him a cigarette. So, what do you think, bro? Is my place okay? Mainly just helping a few small manufacturers shoot short videos, boost traffic, and promote their products. These days, this industry is competitive, but the money comes fast. I took the cigarette, but didn't light it. What exactly do you do? I'll give it a try. Pleasure. Liam Strong slapped his thigh. Here's the deal. You first follow Tom to learn editing, just the basics will do. Then go with John to the shoot sites, see how to light things and how to arrange the products. The most important thing is to be quick-witted. You need to come up with flashy ideas to grab attention. I'll start you at a base salary of $4,000. If you make a hit video, there'll be a separate commission, 500 bonus for each hit. How's that? Okay. I didn't waste words and went straight to an empty computer. Tom, please show me the software and the projects you've been working on recently. I learned quickly. I had tinkered with those editing programs before to help Sophia make travel videos, so after refreshing myself, I remembered how to use them. As for coming up with ideas, my mind wasn't bad either. Ethan, your brain is amazing. This plot twist is spectacular. Liam Strong clicked his tongue in amazement. I just smiled. After work, I immediately took out my phone to check the coin prices. That bit, altcoins started moving, its price slowly rising from just over 5,000 to more than 7,000. There were also a few scattered discussions starting to appear about that thread on the forum. What's going on? It seems to have gone up a bit. The pumpers are trying to lure people into a rug pull, right? Don't believe it. Bought a little for fun. If it loses, consider it feeding the dogs. I paid no attention. Since I'd already bought it, I was too lazy to do anything over such a small rise. But as the days passed, I seemed to gradually forget about it. Until a month later, the world went to war. The knockoff coin bit suddenly skyrocketed, breaking through $200,000. I thought it over for a moment and decided to sell. Staring at the text message about the bank transfer, I took a deep breath. The first bucket of gold is in hand. I didn't make a fuss. I kept going to work at Liam Strong's every day, doing what needed to be done, but in my mind, I was already working out the next plan. On the other side, Sophia and Jacob Smith's life could truly be described as sweet as honey. After that farcical wedding banquet ended, Sophia, under immense pressure from her parents and the gossiping relatives, insisted on dragging Jacob Smith to the civil affairs office to reinstate their marriage. Holding that red booklet, Sophia was so moved she cried again. She meticulously retouched the photo and posted it on Moments and all her social platforms, captioned, "Looking back once more, it's still you. After trials and tribulations, we finally belong to each other. For the rest of my life, it's all you at Jacob." She added a big red heart beneath. She blocked Ethan, but not their other mutual friends. Soon, the comments below filled up with all kinds of reactions. Sophia, are you okay? This, congratulations? Big sis, are you serious? Congratulations, 99. Sophia ignored them all, only replying to those that looked like sincere blessings. She even made sure Jacob Smith replied below, "Wife, I love you." Jacob Smith was a bit awkward at first, but seeing Sophia flaunt herself so ostentatiously, that kind of vanity was greatly satisfied. so he half-heartedly went along with it. After all, it didn't cost him anything. To prove he had changed, Jacob Smith did stay on his best behavior for a few days. He held the portion Sophia had secretly taken from his dowry, rented a cheap, small one-bedroom, which counted as the couple's love nest. He really did find a job, working as a warehouse clerk at a logistics company through a friend's introduction. Although the pay wasn't much, at least it was an honest job. Every day after work, he remembered to buy some groceries to bring home, and would even clumsily try to help Sophia cook. "Husband, you're the best. After a long day, you still make dinner for me." Sophia hugged him from behind, her face pressed against his back, feeling bubbly with happiness. What's that? You're my wife. If I'm not good to you, who should I be good to?" Jacob Smith sweet-talked. That night, Sophia would take photos of the dishes and post them to her moments. "My husband worked hard all day and still cooked for me." Or post a selfie of Jacob Smith in his new work uniform. Men who take their work seriously are the most handsome. At Jacob, she was immersed in a huge, self-moving happiness. She felt that having been reborn, she had finally saved love, saved Jacob Smith, and was living the life of her dreams. Every like and comment made her feel how right and brave her choice had been. She completely ignored her parents' decreasing calls and their cool tone. She ignored her friend's hesitant, unspoken concern. She also ignored the brief flicker of awkwardness on Jacob Smith's face when he glanced at his phone messages, or the faint smell of smoke on him when he came home late claiming a work gathering. Once she tested him, asking, "Honey, you're not gambling anymore, are you?" Jacob Smith immediately put on a stern face, looking a little hurt. "Wife, why don't you believe me yet? I've already quit. Right now my heart only has you in this home. If I gamble again, may I be struck by lightning." Sophia hurriedly hugged him and apologized. "Sorry, husband, I'm just afraid. I'm afraid you'll go back to the way you were before." "Never again. Absolutely never." Jacob Smith patted his chest in assurance. "I'm focused now on making more money, so you can live well." Sophia was so moved, her eyes filled with tears, completely letting go of that little doubt. She felt that all the regrets and pains from her past life were being made up for in this moment. Jacob Smith was her true love. Everything she was doing now was worth it. She even secretly said in her heart to the missing Ethan, "See, without you, I'm actually happier. You have no idea what love is." Days passed one by one. I'm thriving at Liam Strong. I'm sharp and full of bold ideas, and I kept putting out a few little viral videos. I helped the studio make a lot of money, and my commission went up accordingly. Liam Strong was so delighted he couldn't stop grinning, calling out Brother Ethan, every day. I didn't touch the money I made from trading cryptocurrencies. I took some time to study the market in Riverside City and set my sights on a small outdoor gear online shop that was about to go under. The owner was desperate for cash and wanted $150,000 for the whole business, store, inventory, and that useless trademark. I went to inspect the goods. The quality was actually okay. It was just that the shop owner didn't know how to run the business. I bargained it down to $120,000, paid in cash all at once, and took over the shop. I used the remaining money to slightly upgrade the shop page and retook the product photos. Then, combining some marketing tactics, I created a few gimmicks like a must-have for hiking enthusiasts and a niche boutique, and quietly reopened the shop. I didn't quit my job at the studio. I worked during the day and fussed with my online shop at night. At first, there wasn't much progress, but I wasn't anxious. I treated it as a long-term investment. Occasionally, Liam Strong would come over and ask, "Brother Ethan, I see you looking at outdoor stuff a lot lately. Want to go out and play?" I would vaguely reply, "Just browsing." I completely severed all ties with the past. My new number was known only to my parents and the necessary person, Liam Strong. My days were busy and full, and the numbers in my bank account were slowly climbing. I felt very secure. On the other side, Sophia and Jacob Smith's sweet days didn't last 2 months before they began to go sour. At first, Jacob Smith started getting off work later and later and came home less and less. "Honey, working overtime again today?" Sophia called. On the other end of the line, Jacob Smith's voice was a little noisy, accompanied by the sound of people shuffling mahjong tiles. Huh? Yeah. Inventory at the warehouse. So busy I could die. You go to sleep first. You don't need to wait for me. After saying that, he hurriedly hung up the phone. Sophia held the phone, feeling a little empty inside. Do inventory checks require playing mahjong? A few days later, Jacob Smith started asking her for money. Wifey, I'm a bit short on cash. My buddy's been on a lucky streak and got me into an investment. It's a sure win. Just lend me $2,000 for a bit of liquidity. I'll pay you back when I get my paycheck next week. Jacob Smith wrapped his arm around her and talked up a storm. Sophia hesitated a little. What kind of project is it? Is it trustworthy? We still have to pay the rent. Why are you so nagging? Don't believe me? I'm your husband. Would I hurt you? Jacob Smith immediately put on a stern face and unhappily let her go. Forget it. I won't ask you. I'll borrow from someone else, he said, about to get up. Seeing him like that, Sophia's heart softened and she quickly grabbed him. Don't. Let me give it to you, isn't that fine? She took out the last of her private savings and gave it to him. Jacob Smith took the money and immediately beamed, planting a kiss on her cheek. This is my good wife. Wait and see. Once I earn money, I'll buy you a big gold bracelet. As expected, the money was gone and never returned. Jacob Smith's project was always losing money, and his salary never came through. Sophia began to panic, urging him to repay the money. Honey, those 2,000 yuan? The landlord is coming to collect the rent tomorrow. Jacob Smith was slumped on the sofa playing a mobile game, not even looking up, waving his hand impatiently. What are you rushing about? It's only 2,000 yuan, isn't it? Look at you, such ambition. Wait until I win my money back. I'll give you 20,000. Win your money back. Win back what? Sophia's heart sank. Jacob Smith, did you go gambling again? Jacob Smith acted like his tail had been stepped on, shooting upright and glaring at her. What are you talking about? Who's gambling? I'm managing the finances properly. You know nothing. All you ever think about is money. Isn't that annoying? Am I lying? Where's your money then? Your salary? Answer me. Sophia was angry too. Her voice rose by 8 tones. Damn it. Jacob Smith hurled his phone onto the sofa. I work my ass off making money out there. And when I come home, I still have to take your crap. I can't live like this. He stood up and slammed the door as he left. Sophia stood there stunned, tears streaming down her face. She couldn't believe how the previously gentle and considerate Jacob Smith could have become like this. After that argument, Jacob Smith became even more excessive. He often didn't come home at night. When he did return, he reeked of smoke and alcohol and would fall asleep immediately. His attitude when asking for money grew worse and worse, shifting from coaxing to being unabashedly demanding, and in the end it was almost outright grabbing. Where's the money? Take it out. Jacob Smith rifled through her wallet. It's gone. Really gone. I gave you the last of it. Sophia cried, dodging. Nonsense. Your parents didn't secretly give you any? Hurry up. I'm waiting to get my money back. Those bastards have been pushing me. Jacob Smith's eyes were bloodshot, like a gambler who had lost his nerve. He snatched her bag, dumped its contents out, and rifled through every banknote. Sophia looked at the man before her, who was almost mad, feeling utterly alienated and terrified. She tried to persuade him. Jacob Smith, stop gambling. Can we just live a good life? Find a steady job, earn money slowly. Earn slowly? Until when? Jacob Smith shouted at her. Until I starve to death? You just look down on me. You think I can't earn as much as that bastard Ethan? Huh? Then why did you remarry me? I'll tell you. I'll get rich soon. When that happens, don't beg me to come back. He slammed the door and stormed out again. Sophia slumped to the floor, looking at the mess all around her, feeling her heart sink. She began to regret it. She thought of Ethan in the past. Though he wasn't that romantic, he always gave her his pay card. He never stayed out all night, and he would never shout at her like that or even grab her money. She trembled as she took out her phone, intending to call her parents and cry out. But the call stopped halfway through dialing. She remembered how she had thrown caution to the wind to remarry Jacob Smith. She remembered her parents' objections and despair at the time. She had no face to make that call. She thought of Ethan again. Where is he now? How is he doing? If back then, the moment the thought surfaced, she pinched herself hard. No, I can't have regrets. Jacob Smith was just momentarily confused. He'll change. He must be under too much pressure. I need to help him. Yes, I will help him quit. She wiped her tears and tidied up the floor. She decided to trust Jacob Smith one more time, try to soften him with her gentleness and persistence. That night, Jacob Smith came home drunk. Sophia, holding back her fear and disgust, went to meet him and said softly, "Honey, you're back? Are you hungry? Shall I cook you a bowl of noodles?" Jacob Smith squinted at her for a moment, then suddenly chuckled, grabbed her in a hug, and mumbled with a mouthful of alcohol. "Still, my wife is the best. Wife, don't worry. Once I win some money, I'll take you to eat and drink well." Sophia was held by him stiffly, feeling icy cold inside. She knew he hadn't listened to a single word she said. Jacob Smith had been well-behaved for the past few days. He came home on time from work and even rushed to do the chores. He returned to the same gentle, considerate treatment of Sophia as at the beginning. "Wife, it was my fault before. I'm a jerk." Jacob Smith held her, his tone sincere. "I swear, I will never touch those things again. Let's live a good life together." The tiny ember of hope in Sophia's heart, which had almost gone out, was reignited by those words. She leaned against him with red-rimmed eyes. "Really? Husband, is what you said true? Don't lie to me again." "It's true. Truer than real gold." Jacob Smith raised his hand and swore. "I found a new job. It's a bit tiring, but it pays well and it's stable. Once you get paid, we'll move to a better place." Sophia believed him. She chose to trust him again. She even began to look forward to moving and starting a new life. That night, Jacob Smith was unusually attentive. He took the initiative to cook a few dishes. Although the flavors were mediocre, Sophia ate happily. "Sweetheart, here, have some water." Jacob Smith poured her a cup of warm water. Jacob Smith's eyes flickered slightly, but Sophia, immersed in happiness, didn't notice at all. "Thanks, honey." Sophia took the cup and sipped a little. "I don't know why, but this water tastes a bit strange, kind of astringent." She hasn't had much of an appetite lately. Maybe that's why. She didn't think much of it. Suddenly she felt an inexplicable dizziness and nausea, her stomach churning violently. She covered her mouth, her face turning very ugly. "What's wrong, honey? Do you feel unwell?" Jacob Smith immediately came over, his tone a bit anxious. "I don't know. I suddenly feel like vomiting." Sophia hadn't finished speaking when a strong wave of nausea surged up. She dashed into the bathroom and vomited violently into the toilet. She vomited up the water she had just drunk and the small amount of food she had eaten. After vomiting, she felt a little better, but her head was still spinning badly and her whole body was weak. She leaned against the wall and weakly walked back to the living room. Jacob Smith looked a bit pale, his eyes darting away. "Are you okay? Do you need to go to the hospital?" "No need. Maybe I just ate something bad." Sophia weakly waved her hand and slumped down on the sofa. "I'll lie down for a bit, and I'll be fine." She leaned against the sofa, eyes closed, feeling her consciousness a little fuzzy. Just then, she heard the sound of a key being inserted into the lock. Isn't Jacob Smith at home? Who else has a key? The door was flung open, and a sleazy, brutish-faced man stormed in, a cigarette dangling from his mouth. His eyes roved over Sophia with ill intent. Sophia was startled and suddenly more alert. Who are you? How did you get in?" The man chuckled, showing a mouthful of yellow teeth, and ignored her. Instead, he turned to Jacob Smith, who stood pale and helpless beside him, and said, "Jacob, not bad. Your wife is really quite a looker, even more striking than in the photos." Jacob Smith trembled in fright and hurried forward, lowering his voice. "Tony, brother Tony, why did you come so soon? Weren't we supposed to?" Wait until she's asleep." Tony impatiently shoved him away. "Wait my ass. I can't wait any longer. Did you give her the drug or not? Looks like it's almost done," he said as he walked toward Sophia. Even if Sophia were foolish, she realized something was wrong. She recoiled in terror. "Jacob Smith? Who exactly is he? What drug? Tell me clearly." Jacob Smith fell to his knees with a thud, clutching Tony's leg and crying out, Brother Tony, please give me 2 more days. I'll definitely find a way to get the money to repay you. Please don't harm my wife. Fuck you. Tony kicked him away. How many more chances do you want? Either pay back the money today, or I'll take your wife as repayment. You chose this path yourself, so don't give me any bullshit. He continued to advance on Sophia. Sophia trembled all over, grabbed the cup on the table, and hurled it. Get away. Don't come any closer. The cup smashed into Tony, but he didn't care. Instead, he laughed even more lecherously. Oh, that's pretty hot. I like it. No, Brother Tony, I beg you. Jacob Smith crawled over again, this time pleading with Sophia. Sophia, save me. I owe Brother Tony 50,000 yuan in gambling debt. If I don't repay him, he'll beat me to death. You just accompany Brother Tony once. Just once. Brother Tony said, 1 time counts as 10,000. 5 times will do. I'm begging you, wife. Boom. It was as if a bolt of lightning had split Sophia's mind in two. Drugs, gambling debts, 1 night for 10,000. Jacob Smith's pleas. Tony's lecherous grin. All the fragments snapped together in an instant, forming a horrifying truth that chilled her to the bone and made her blood feel like it was about to congeal. Jacob Smith drug her. He treated her as a chip to repay gambling debts. He personally handed her over to another man. Jacob Smith! Sophia let out a shriek so piercing it warped her voice. Her voice was filled with boundless shock, terror, and raging hatred. You are not human. You are a beast. The intense shock and the lingering effects of the drug made her vision go black, and she nearly fainted. But her fierce will to survive and anger kept her going. She suddenly grabbed the fruit knife from the table, flailing it wildly and screaming hysterically. Get out. All of you get out, or I'll kill you. Tony was startled by her frantic, desperate state and instinctively took a step back, cursing. Damn it. Crazy woman. I don't like this kind of lunatic. Bite me again, and I'll tear her apart. He spun around and kicked Jacob Smith hard in the ground. Piece of trash. Can't even handle a woman. You must pay the money back next week, or I'll take a leg off you. With that, he cursed and slammed the door as he left. Only Jacob Smith remained in the room, collapsed on the floor like rotten mud, and Sophia stood trembling with a knife, her face streaked with tears. With a clatter, the fruit knife fell to the floor. Sophia leaned against the wall and slowly slid down to sit. She looked at the man who had once made her betray everything, even cause Ethan's death, just to be with him. Lying on the ground like a dead dog, he could actually do something so despicable for his own sake. Scenes from his past life surged into his mind like a tide. Ethan's gentle smile, the way Ethan handed her his pay card, the look of incredulous pain in Ethan's eyes when she poisoned him. Jacob Smith's once sweet words, Jacob Smith kneeling and swearing to reform, Jacob Smith's recent nauseating pleas. The faces of the two men flashed wildly through her mind. The true love she had always believed in was actually this hideous, this responsible for pushing her into the abyss of hell. And the man she had pushed away with her own hands, even cruelly killed, was the one who had truly given her stability and sincerity. Sophia covered her face, letting out a cry of utter despair and overwhelming regret. She was wrong. From beginning to end, she had been completely, terribly wrong. Karma. This is all her karma. There was an industry meetup over in Riverside City, not large in scale, but attended by hands-on owners of small and medium-sized companies. My online shop is doing steady business now, and my studio has more or less made me a half partner. Liam Strong dragged me over, saying it couldn't hurt to meet more people. I was wearing a well-fitting casual suit, chatting animatedly with a few supply chain bosses. I have some money in hand now, so I can speak with confidence. He spoke knowledgeably about raw material and logistics costs, and the other party nodded along. Mr. Ethan, you're young and accomplished. Hope we can cooperate in the future. Not at all, Mr. David. You flatter me. We can learn from each other. I smiled politely and handed over my new business card. The name and contact information of my outdoor gear shop were printed on it. While we were talking, I caught a glimpse out of the corner of my eye of a small commotion near the entrance to the venue. I didn't pay much attention and kept talking to the person in front of me. Suddenly, a figure rushed past from the side, lunged in front of me, and nearly knocked over the tray the waiter was carrying. "Ethan Johnson!" A hoarse, shrill female voice rang out. Cracked with sobs, it instantly drew the attention of everyone around. I frowned and looked closely. It was Sophia. She looked completely transformed. Her hair hung in a tangled mess. Her face was waxy and yellow, her eyes socket-hollowed, and she wore a wrinkled old coat that clashed with the venue's atmosphere. She stared at me intently, her eyes rimmed with bloodshot veins and filled with an almost frenzied excitement. "Ethan Johnson, I finally found you. Ethan Johnson." Her voice trembled badly as she reached out to grab my arm. I stepped back and easily avoided her. My expression cooled as I looked at this unexpected visitor. "Ma'am, I think you have the wrong person." My tone was flat, as if stating a fact. "No, I didn't get it wrong. You are Ethan Johnson." Seeing me try to distance myself, Sophia grew even more frantic. Tears streamed down her face. She didn't bother with the curious, assessing, or even slightly amused looks around us. "Ethan Johnson, it's me, Sophia Taylor. I was wrong. I really was wrong." Her emotions completely unraveled, her voice growing louder, sounding like a wail. "Jacob Smith is not a human. He's an animal. He lied to me. He harmed me. He made me. She seemed unable to speak, sobbing so hard she could barely breathe, her whole body almost collapsing. The people around began whispering. "Who is this? What's going on? Here for Mr. Ethan. It looks like there's a dispute. How did this woman end up like this?" Liam Strong hurriedly squeezed over, tried to pull Sophia. Hey, miss, if you have something to discuss, let's step outside. Don't cause a scene here." Sophia abruptly shoved Liam Strong away and, with a thud, surprisingly dropped her knees right on the floor in front of me. She wrapped her arms around my legs and cried her heart out. "Ethan Johnson, I beg you, forgive me. I was blind. I wronged you. Please save me. I have nothing left now. Only you can save me now. Please, for the sake of what we once had." I frowned even more tightly and tried to pull my leg free, but Sophia held on like a vice. I looked down at this woman who had once been arrogant enough to try to poison me for another man. Now she knelt at my feet like a defeated dog begging, and I felt nothing but annoyance and contempt. "Miss Sophia," I spoke again, my voice colder than before, carrying an unmistakable detachment. "Please let go. I don't know you. You got the wrong person. You're wrong. How could you not know me? We were almost married." Sophia tilted her face up, tears and snot smearing across it, looking utterly disheveled. "Ethan Johnson, I know you hate me. You can curse at me. You can even hit me. But please don't say you don't know me. I know I wasn't right before. I was possessed by dark thoughts. But Jacob Smith is basically a devil. He gambled and piled up a mountain of debt. He drugged me. He wanted to sell me to those debt collectors. I couldn't save my child either. I'm not human. I deserve this. But please, for my parents' sake, for what we had before, enough." I cut her off sharply and finally pulled my leg free with force. I stepped back 2 paces and smoothed down my rumpled pant leg. I glanced at the growing crowd gathering around and signaled to Liam Strong with my eyes. Liam Strong immediately understood, stepped forward, and forcibly held back the still crying Sophia. "Miss, if you keep this up, I'll call the police. Take it outside if you have something to say." "I'm not leaving. Ethan Johnson. Ethan Johnson, hear me out." Sophia struggled desperately, her hair more disheveled, looking like a crazy woman. "Jacob Smith deserves to die. I've already reported him to the police, but his creditors are still looking for me. I had no other choice but to come to you. Only you can help me. You're doing so well now. Help me out. Just pity me a little." I looked expressionless as Liam Strong and another security guard from the meeting, who had rushed over at the news, dragged her out. I ignored her pleas. Sophia was led out with her arms held by 2 guards, almost being dragged as they walked her away. She was still struggling desperately, her screams tearing at her heart. "Let go of me. I'm not going. Ethan Johnson. Ethan Johnson, listen to me. Please." Liam Strong followed beside them, sweating profusely, smiling apologetically at the guests. "Sorry, everyone, just a little misunderstanding," sorry to bother you," lowering his voice as he spoke to Sophia. "Miss, I'm begging you, stop this. If you keep it up, it'll look really bad." I stood where I was, expressionless, watching the farce. The surrounding bosses' gazes swept back and forth between Sophia and me, full of curiosity and a desire to watch the spectacle. I smoothed the sleeve of my suit, which Sophia had just ruffled. Then, under everyone's gaze, I strode toward the venue's entrance. The security guards were about to drag the crying, struggling Sophia completely out the door when I raised a hand to signal. The guard stopped, but still held Sophia firmly. Sophia saw me walking over, as if she'd grasped the last straw, her cries growing louder, pleading incoherently. "Ethan Johnson, you still care about me, don't you? You still have me in your heart. Save me. Jacob Smith is not human. His creditors block my door every day, throw pain on me. I can't go on living. Only you can help me. I know you have money now. You help me pay off my debt. So I'll be your beast of burden." I stood still in front of her, one step away, making sure she couldn't touch me. There was no disgust in my eyes, no anger, not even much emotion, only a complete, cold detachment. "Miss Sophia," I spoke, my voice not loud, but exceptionally clear. Loud enough for anyone nearby who was eavesdropping to hear. "I think we are not acquainted." Sophia's pleas cut off abruptly, as if her throat had been grabbed. She stared at me in disbelief. I continued in that tone, so calm it bordered on cruel. "What happens between you and your husband is your private matter. It has nothing to do with me. You came to the wrong person." No. Sophia shook her head violently, tears splashing. "We almost got married. How could you not know? Ethan Johnson, I know you hate me. You can curse me, hit me, whatever, just don't do this." "Hate." I seem to have heard an utterly unfamiliar word. The corner of my mouth even lifted into a faint, temperatureless arc. "Miss Sophia, you think far too highly of yourself. For a stranger, hate is out of the question." I glanced at her disheveled appearance and added, "Judging by how you look now, my advice is to call the police or find a reliable lawyer. Not to keep clinging to a stranger who has nothing to do with you. This won't solve anything. It will only make you look worse." I shattered the last shred of Sophia's fantasy and dignity. The silence around us was terrifying, broken only by Sophia's heavy breathing. And my voice grew a degree colder, carrying a clear warning. "I don't know how you found this place, how you sneaked in, but this is a business setting, not a place for you to handle personal disputes. Leave immediately, and from now on, do not ever appear in front of me again, and do not try to interfere with my life and work. Otherwise," I paused, not finishing the sentence, but the chill in my eyes had already said it all. Sophia froze completely, her face drained of color, her lips trembling, unable to utter a single word. I stopped looking at her and turned to the security guards beside me, my tone returning to normal. "Please take care of this lady and escort her out. Make sure she cannot come back in to disrupt the meeting." "All right, Mr. Ethan," the security guard hastily nodded. He lifted the limp, exhausted Sophia with extra force. She no longer struggled, and quickly dragged her out the gate. Liam Strong hurried over and whispered, "Brother Ethan, is she okay?" I didn't even look toward the doorway, as if everything that had just happened were only a trivial little incident. I turned around, facing the bosses who were still watching, and even put on a slightly apologetic professional smile. "A private misunderstanding caused some trouble for you all. I'm truly sorry. Shall we continue?" Seeing this, the others didn't pry further, and all laughed to smooth things over. No problem. Mr. Ethan handled it well. Yeah, there are all kinds of people. Go on. Were we just now?" I wasn't affected at all by the later part of the networking event. Talked when it was time, laughed when it was time, collected a stack of business cards, and handed out quite a few. That little incident just now. Everyone here is sharp. They wisely didn't bring it up again. As the event was about to break up, the Mr. David I had been chatting with earlier came over again and handed me a cigarette. Mr. Ethan, young and accomplished, yet so composed, I admire that. I took the cigarette without lighting it and smiled. "Mr. David, you're flattering me. A small bit of trouble. It can't derail the main business." "That's how it is." Mr. David nodded. lowering his voice a little. But that woman just now, I don't think she completely mistook him for someone else. Really nothing at all. My expression didn't change, my tone casual. What could there be? Maybe she used to work under some former partner or met him once somewhere. I wanted to reach out when I ran into trouble. I've seen people like this many times. Don't get involved. Once you do, it never ends. Mr. David looked suddenly enlightened and patted my shoulder. Got it. Mr. Ethan is perceptive. So that's how it is. All right. Later we'll double-check the part's contract details we just discussed. I'll have my assistant send it to your email. No problem. I'll wait for Mr. David's email. I shook his hand. After the event, Liam Strong rode back in my car. Once inside, he couldn't hold back. Ethan, that woman just now, did she really mistake me for someone else? There was doubt in his tone. He clearly didn't believe it. I kept my hands on the wheel and looked at the road ahead, my voice calm. Who she is doesn't matter. What matters is that it has nothing to do with me anymore. Liam Strong clicked his tongue, still curious. But she clearly called your name and even talked about marrying and stuff. Liam, I interrupted him, glancing at him sideways. Some rotten things are like stepping in dog poop. Are you planning to keep holding that stinky shoe and study what kind of dog's head it is made of? Or just throw the shoe away, get a new pair, and keep moving forward? Liam Strong choked a bit and scratched his head. That of course means changing shoes. So that's over. Don't bring it up again, I said decisively, leaving no room for doubt. Got it. Understood. Liam Strong, though nosy, was tactful and immediately changed the subject. Hey, Ethan, how did the meeting with Mr. David go today? You two seem to talk for quite a while. Not bad. There's some interest. He has some surplus spare parts he wants to move if the price is right. Eat them, refurbish them a bit, hang them to shop as discounted goods. Should make some profit. I said a few brief words. Amazing. Still, Ethan, you really know how to work the angles. Liam Strong gave a thumbs up. Back at the studio, I immediately opened my computer and dealt with the backlog of emails and orders. The online store's backend notification dinged non-stop, and the young customer service girl was so busy her fingers flew over the keyboard. Boss, a wholesale order just came in. Are you able to offer a bulk discount? Boss, stock of this trekking pole is low. Should we restock? Ethan, the footage shot this afternoon is exported. Which one do you want to use as the cover? I methodically handle things one by one. Tell him to call me directly about the wholesale order. Contact factory director Peter about the hiking poles. Use the old price for now and advance 500 units. Use the third lens for the cover. The lighting is good. I was busy until almost quitting time when my phone rang. It's a local number, but it's neither Liam Strong nor a client. I answered, hello. Who is this? Hello. Is this Mr. Ethan Johnson? The voice on the other end was a pleasant-sounding woman, her tone brisk. I'm Emily Snow, from the Outdoor Adventure Club. Mr. David just spoke with me on the phone and said you have some outdoor products with good value for money. Our club has some team building and hiking activities coming up. We might need to purchase a batch. Is it convenient to talk? David is the Mr. David from the networking event. That was fast. I replied immediately. Hello, Miss Emily. I'm Ethan Johnson. Of course it's convenient. What kind of product do you need? What's your approximate budget? I do have some confidence in our products. Emily Snow smiled on the other end of the line. Mr. David praised you quite a bit. You're young and capable, and your stuff is solid. What we mainly need is some basic hiking gear. Trekking poles, headlamps, camping lanterns, cookware, that kind of thing. The quantities might be substantial, but we're quite sensitive to both quality and price. Understood. Cost-effectiveness is my advantage. That being the case, Miss Emily, if it's convenient for you, I can first send the product list and quotation to your email. You can review them. If anything interests you, I can arrange to send samples. I will absolutely let you see the actual quality. I'm already very experienced in handling these kinds of inquiries. That's great. Send it to me on Messenger. Use the same number as my phone. Emily Snow replied readily. If the samples are fine, we have a hiking event of about 100 people next week. We can send a batch first to test the waters. No problem. I'll send it right away. Looking forward to working together. I hung up the phone feeling good. If this order goes through, it'll be another substantial income. I quickly sent over the organized materials. Just after sending them, Liam Strong strolled over with a cigarette in his mouth. Ethan, you done for the day? Want to grab a drink? I glanced at the time in the lower right corner of my computer and shook my head. No, I still need to verify some data. You go ahead. TSH, brother Ethan, you're really a busy man now. Liam Strong teased, then didn't insist and left on his own. The office fell silent. I handled a few more emails and replied to several clients' inquiries. Outside, the sky was gradually darkening and the city's lights came on. I picked up my phone and saw that Emily Snow had already replied on Messenger. Materials received. Thank you, Mr. Ethan. I'll finish reviewing them soon and get back to you. Very efficient. I like dealing with people like that. I shut the computer and stood up. Another day was over. It felt fulfilling and very peaceful. Those rotten people and things were like the exhaust of a car fiercely thrown behind, already blown away without a trace. The road ahead was still long. After being dragged out of the venue by security, Sophia collapsed on the curb like a lump of mud, unable to make a sound when she cried. Passers-by pointed at her. She didn't react at all. The last bit of hope was completely crushed by Ethan's "I don't know you." She didn't know how she got back to that cheap rental. The room was a mess. Jacob Smith's things were thrown about, giving off a mildew and cigarette smell. There were still stains on the wall from the paint the creditors had splashed before. She huddled in the corner, hugging her knees, trembling all over. Ethan's cold gaze, Jacob Smith's lewd pleading, Tony's lecherous face, and the intense pain from the previous life's fall. All the scenes spun wildly in her head. She's finished. Completely finished. Her phone suddenly rang. It was her mother. Sophia grabbed it like a lifeline and answered it with trembling hands. Before she could speak, the sobs came out first. Mom. Her mother's voice came through the phone, cold and weary. Sophia, from now on, don't call home anymore. Sophia froze. Mom, what did you say? Your father's so angry he was hospitalized. Her mother's voice wavered with tears, but more than that, it was full of despair. Because of you, the neighbors are gossiping. Your dad's high blood pressure acted up. The doctor said it's very dangerous. Sophia, for your mother's sake, I beg you. The trouble you caused, you must bear it yourself. Don't drag us down anymore. We're old. We can't take it. Mom, it's not me. It's Jacob Smith. Sophia rushed to explain. Enough. Her mother suddenly cut her off, her voice sharp. You're still blaming others now. Who insisted on remarrying him in the first place? One loss was enough. Did you have to suffer a second time? Who was it that shrugged off our words like they were nothing? Sophia, you chose this path yourself, so you have to walk it even on your knees. Don't look for us anymore. The phone was abruptly hung up. Listening to the busy tone on the phone, Sophia felt as if her soul had been drained out. Even her parents didn't want her anymore. She frantically flipped through her contacts and called her old friends. Hello, Lisa. It's me, Sophia. Beep, beep, beep. The other person hung up immediately. Amy? Sophia? Sorry, I'm a bit busy right now. Talk later. The call was hastily disconnected. Sister Linda, could you lend me some money? I owe Sophia. I'm a bit short on cash lately, too. Besides, your husband, TSK. Sorry, I really can't help. Everyone avoided her, like avoiding the plague. The next day, the landlord came to break down the door. Sophia, open up. I know you're in there. When are you paying this month's rent? If you don't pay me, get out. The landlord roared from outside. Sophia was so frightened she didn't dare make a sound. Also, your husband owes a mountain of shitty debts. Don't bring his creditors to my house. Bad luck. Move out immediately. The landlord cursed and stalked off. Sophia knew she couldn't stay here either. She wandered the streets in a daze, like a ghost. She passed a mall with a huge electronic screen, which was playing the local financial news. In recent years, cross-border e-commerce has developed rapidly, giving rise to a group of outstanding young entrepreneurs. It is reported that a local cross-border online store specializing in outdoor goods, Wild Journey, has recently performed impressively. Its founder, Mr. Ethan Johnson, said, a photo of Ethan Johnson appeared on the screen. He was wearing a crisp suit with a background that looked like a modern office or showroom. He smiled calmly at the camera and spoke eloquently, his gaze sharp and confident. Below there was a line of small print as a subtitle, Young entrepreneur Ethan Johnson sees the trend, make precise moves. Sophia came to an abrupt stop, as if struck by lightning. She stared fixedly at that man on the screen who was both familiar and strange. Polished, successful, confident, composed. Contrasting most cruelly with her present mess, destitution, and despair. It turned out that without her, without that marriage, Ethan Johnson could live so well. So well. And her? Because of a worthless gambling addict, she was betrayed by everyone. Left with nothing. She was like a rat in the gutter, beaten and cursed by all. A crushing remorse, like a venomous snake, bit into her heart, the pain making her nearly convulse. What on earth was she blinded by back then? Ethan Johnson on the screen was still saying something, but she couldn't hear a single word. All she could hear was her pounding heart and a ringing in her ears. She looked at the man on the screen and at her own filthy reflection mirrored on the glossy display. Overlapping, yet sharply distinct. Two worlds. She had personally shoved open one world, then hurled herself into another hell. Ah, she let out a heart-rending, inhuman scream. She suddenly covered her face, squatted on the busy street, and began to wail uncontrollably. This time, no one came forward to ask or comfort her. Passers-by only glanced curiously at this sloppily dressed, frantic woman. Then they hurriedly walked around her, afraid of getting entangled in trouble. I sat at the computer in my new office, the screen glowing, several documents open at once. The deal with Emily Snow's club had just been finalized, a decent quantity, and the advance payment should arrive tomorrow. Liam Strong had sent another video script, urging me for feedback. There was also an email, an initial inquiry about the agency rights for an overseas niche brand, which I needed to reply to carefully. My phone buzzed. I picked it up, and it was a messenger message from Emily Snow. Mr. Ethan, the samples arrived. The quality is indeed good, better than I expected. Our team leader tried them out, and the feedback was very positive. The contract is fine. We'll have finance wire the advance payment tomorrow. My fingers tapped furiously on the screen. Miss Emily is efficient. Pleasure doing business with you. If you need anything further, feel free to contact me anytime. This deal is secure. I felt pretty pleased. No sooner had I sent that than Liam Strong called. Ethan bro, have you read the script? What do you think? This time let's go big. It'll definitely be a hit. I wedged the phone between my shoulder and ear, my eyes still fixed on the agency email on the computer screen. The third option doesn't work. It's too flashy. It doesn't highlight the product's core selling point. Combine the first and second ones. The opening 3 seconds must grab attention. Add a bit more detail to the middle trial section. Oh, and get a buddy with darker, rougher skin to film it. Don't always use those pretty boys. This is outdoor gear. It has to look like it's really being used, not like we're shooting a teen idol drama. Got it. Ethan, your taste is ruthless, as always. I'll have them change it right away. Liam Strong yelled on the other end before hanging up. I kept reading that power of attorney email, thinking about how to reply. I needed to sound professional and capable, but I couldn't come off as a pushover. I tapped the keyboard, choosing each word carefully. After finishing all that hustle, I leaned back and rubbed my eyes. The office wasn't big, but I rented it with my own money. At last, I didn't have to squeeze into Liam Strong's messy studio or my tiny rented room to work anymore. The brand, Wild Journey, finally has a proper place. My phone rang again. It was my mom. Hi, Mom, I answered. Ethan, are you busy? Hope I'm not bothering you. My mom's voice sounded fairly cheerful. It seems my dad's health should be fine. Not busy, just finished. Is Dad doing all right? He's fine. The medication is keeping him under control. Nothing serious. It's just a few days ago, Sophia's mom secretly gave me a call. My mom's tone was a bit hesitant, pausing and stammering. There was little expression on my face. Oh, what did she say? Sigh. What else could she say? Cry, I guess. She said Sophia isn't doing well now, that bastard Jacob Smith has been arrested. It seems to be because of gambling and things like beating people. Sophia herself also seems to be ill, and she can't find a job. Her mental state isn't very good either. Her mother meant to ask if you could. Mom, I interrupted her calmly, my voice flat. It's other people's business. We shouldn't get involved. And we can't afford to. There was a moment of silence on the other end of the line. Then my mom seemed to exhale with relief. Right? You're right. Your mom's getting old and confused. I'm not getting involved. I'm not getting involved. As long as you're doing well, that's enough. Then go be busy. I won't bother you anymore, Mom. After hanging up, I didn't feel much. It's no surprise Sophia and Jacob Smith are where they are today. You chose your own path, so you have to bear it yourself. You can't blame others. I picked up a resume from the table and had a look. Business has been going well lately. I need to hire a full-time customer service rep and a junior assistant to help me handle miscellaneous tasks. It's busy, but it's the kind of busy that's enjoyable and reassuring. The messenger rang again. It was still Emily Snow. Mr. Ethan, the advance payment has been arranged by finance. Also, next weekend our club is holding a beginner hiking experience at Mount Serenity. Consider it the first field test for this batch of new gear. Interested in coming to see it in person? Also to give some professional advice? I smiled and replied, Miss Emily personally invited me, so I must go. Besides, I'll take the opportunity to join the hike and get some exercise. Then it's settled. See you then. Emily Snow replied quickly, adding a smiling face. I put down my phone and glanced out the window. It was getting dark. Cars flowed along the street below and the lights were coming on. This city is not small and opportunities are plentiful. Those old crappy problems have long been left in the dust. I shut down the computer, grabbed my coat and car keys, and got ready to leave work. The new assistant is coming for an interview tomorrow. I need to see what they're like. Keep a close eye on the video shoot over at Liam Strong's. Stay on top of Emily Snow's contracts. And that agency deal, do your best to negotiate it. One thing after another got handled, and the days kept moving forward, step by step. At least I'm still alive for now, and I haven't gotten entangled with her. I think this is pretty good. Step by step, moving forward.